Right now, you can order a coffee, hop on a plane, and be sipping it on another continent by tomorrow morning. For 99% of human history, that same trip would have killed you. Not being hard. Killed you. No roads, no maps. No idea what was 5 miles ahead. Could be a cliff, could be a lion, could be nothing at all. And yet somehow, using nothing but 2 feet, humans made it to literally every corner of this planet. This is the story of how we did it, and why the last 200 years erased 300,000 years of struggle so completely that we don't even notice it anymore. Stick with me here, because this isn't just history of transportation. This is the story of the single biggest constraint humans have ever lived under, and how we broke it, piece by piece, over thousands of generations. Walking boats, animals, wheels, 4 inventions. 1 species, an entire planet conquered. Let's go back to the very beginning to your feet. If you're into stuff like this, deep dives that make you look at your everyday life differently, hit subscribe now. Because it's about to get wild. Medicine. Here's something you probably never thought about. Humans are terrible sprinters. A cheetah does 70 miles per hour. A horse cruises at 30 for miles without breaking a sweat. You, maybe 15 miles per hour for about 8 seconds before your lungs are on fire. So why did we win? Because speed was never the game. Endurance was. You can walk 20 miles today. Get up tomorrow. Do it again and again. For weeks straight. Almost no other animal on Earth can do that. Your arches act like springs. Your Achilles tendon stores energy with every stride, like a rubber band. There is a ligament running up the back of your neck that keeps your head dead. Still, while your whole body bounces underneath it. And you've got roughly 2 million sweat glands cooling you off while every other big animal on the savannah is forced to stop and pant in the shade. You weren't built to outrun anything. You were built to never stop. And here's the proof. In 1978, a paleoanthropologist named Mary Leakey found something wild in Tanzania. Footprints frozen in volcanic ash. 3.6 million years old. 2 individuals, walking upright, side by side. The oldest known evidence of walking on 2 legs. And they look almost identical to your own footprints today. For millions of years, that walk was the only transportation technology our ancestors had. And somehow, it was enough to conquer the entire globe. But here's where it gets crazy. Around 70,000 years ago, small groups of humans started walking out of Africa. Not in one big migration. Generation after generation, families pushed a little further into land no human had ever set foot on. They crossed the Middle East, spread into Asia, reached Europe, trekked into Siberia, crossed a frozen land bridge into Alaska, kept going all the way down through the Americas. That's around 15,000 miles on foot, with zero idea there was even a destination waiting at the end. Here's the part that blows my mind. This wasn't random wandering. Archaeologists have dug up obsidian tools hundreds of miles from the nearest volcano, seashells found deep inland, amber traded across entire mountain ranges. These people weren't lost. They were networking on foot across continents, thousands of years before writing even existed. But walking has one massive weakness. It stops dead at water. For hundreds of thousands of years, a river wasn't just an obstacle, it was a wall. You found a shallow spot to wade across, or you turned back. That was it. Until humans did something no other land animal has ever managed. They figured out how to cross water on purpose. In 2003, archaeologists on the island of Flores in Indonesia found stone tools dating back roughly 800,000 years. Problem is, Flores has never been connected to the mainland. Even at the lowest sea levels in history, there was still at least 12 miles of open ocean separating it from land, which means someone crossed that gap, on purpose, hundreds of thousands of years before we were even fully human as a species. We don't know what they used. Wood rots. Reeds decompose. Whatever got them across is long gone. But the tools don't lie. So what happened next is even crazier. Around 65,000 years ago, humans crossed from Southeast Asia to Australia at least 60 miles of open ocean, with no land visible on the other side. You can't drift there by accident. Someone built something that floats, pointed it at empty horizon, and paddled into the unknown with zero guarantee anything was out there. And then, roughly 3,000 years ago, the Polynesians pulled off something almost unbelievable. They crossed the Pacific Ocean, the largest body of water on the planet. Double-hulled canoes, loaded with food, animals' entire families, thousands of miles of open water, navigated using nothing but the stars, the swell of the waves, and the flight patterns of birds. No compass, no map, just observation so precise it still amazes modern navigators today. They found Hawaii, Easter Island, New Zealand. Every livable island scattered across the Pacific, some voyages covering over 2,500 miles with absolutely nothing in between. Walking conquered land, boats conquered water, but there was still one problem nobody had cracked. You can walk 20 miles a day. You cannot walk 20 miles carrying a 200-pound animal. You just hunted down. For most of human history, the real limit wasn't distance, it was weight. You could only move what your own body could physically carry, and that ceiling was somewhere around 40 to 60 pounds before your body started breaking down. So humans started cheating the system. First trick, dragging. Kill something big, throw it on a hide, drag it home. We actually know this happened because archaeologists have found telltale wear patterns on ancient hides, the kind that only show up after being dragged for miles. Then someone leveled up the idea, the travois. Two poles tied in a V-shape with a platform slung between them. Drag the narrow end, and the wide end spreads the weight out evenly. Suddenly, one person could haul over 100 pounds solo. But the real game changer wasn't something you could build, it was something you could befriend. Around 15,000 years ago, humans domesticated dogs, our very first animal partnership. And one of the earliest jobs we gave them, hauling weight. In the Arctic, dogs pulled sleds across snow and ice. A single dog could move around 45 pounds. A team of 6 could relocate an entire family's camp in one trip. But dogs are small. We needed something bigger. About 5,500 years ago, on the steppes of modern-day Kazakhstan, humans tamed the horse. We know this because archaeologists found bitware on ancient horse teeth. Proof someone had been controlling these animals, with something in their mouths, plus traces of mare's milk baked right into ancient pottery. These weren't people who just hunted horses for food. They rode them, milked them, built entire cultures around them, and the horse changed everything. For roughly 300,000 years, the fastest a human could ever travel was walking pace around 4 miles per hour. On horseback, you could hit 30 in a single generation. The entire world shrank by a factor of 8. Messages traveled faster, trade routes exploded. Warfare was never the same. An army on horseback could reach you before you even knew they were coming. Donkeys crossed deserts. Camels conquered the Sahara. Reindeer hauled sleds through Arctic snow. Llamas carried cargo over the Andes. Wherever humans went, they found the right animal and put it straight to work. But one more invention was still missing, and it took a shockingly long time to arrive. Here's the plot twist. Most people get wrong. Humans crossed every ocean on the planet before anyone invented the wheel. The oldest known wheel was found in the Ljubljana marshes in Slovenia, about 5,200 years old. Compare that, boats go back at least 10,000 years, probably way further. Horses were tamed 5,500 years ago, and humans had already sailed to Australia, 65,000 years before the wheel even existed. The wheel wasn't humanity's first big idea. It was one of the last, and it didn't even start as transportation. The earliest wheels were used for shaping pottery, a spinning disc for clay. At some point, someone tipped that disc on its side and thought, what if I put something on top of this? The first wheeled carts were slow, heavy, solid wood they cracked on rough terrain and got stuck in mud constantly. Honestly, a horse without a cart was often faster than a horse dragging one. Then, around 2000 BC, someone cracked the spoked wheel lighter, stronger, way faster. Suddenly, you had chariots, speed, and cargo capacity in one package. Add roads. The first paved road appeared around 4000 BC, and you finally had a real transportation system. Wheels, horses, and roads working together. That single combination is the foundation every empire you've ever heard of was built on top of. So here's the full timeline, laid out. For 300,000 years, humans had nothing but legs, and they still walked across the entire planet. They hit water and figured out how to float across it. They needed to carry more, so they learned to drag, then to build frames. They partnered with animals, cracked the horse, and the world shrank overnight. They invented the wheel, and it shrank again. Every single breakthrough took thousands of years to arrive, and everyone was built directly on top of the last. Now, you sit in a metal box doing 70 miles per hour and call it just a commute. You cross an entire ocean in 6 hours and get annoyed the Wi-Fi's slow. You've got a device in your pocket that can summon a car to your exact GPS location, and you're irritated. It took 5 whole minutes. We solved the problem of distance so completely, we forgot it was ever a problem at all. Every highway, every airport, every train track on Earth, all of it traces back to one moment 300,000 years ago, when someone looked at the horizon and just started walking. No map, no guarantee. They went anyway. If this blew your mind even a little, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this video reach more people. And drop a comment if you had to travel 1,000 miles with zero modern transportation. Which method from this video would you pick: walking, boat, horse, or wheel? I'll read the best ones. Subscribe if you want more deep dives like this one. I'll see you in the next video.